The Unsigned Podcast.
Hi everyone, welcome to the Unsigned Podcast. Lizzie's back.
Yay, I'm back from holiday.
She's back.
Did you miss me?
I did miss you.
Oh, good.
I did miss you. Yeah, the podcast missed you as well.
Ah.
But you had a lovely time.
I did. So I've come back 1 kilogram heavier because I weighed myself today, which is kind of sad. But I have come back 3 shades browner. And let me show you.
What do you mean 3 Okay. Fair enough.
See, that is proof that I'm still
How do you know
pale,
it's 3 shades?
But I've still got a tan. Well, I'd say that's about 3
okay,
shades.
I have no idea. Okay,
I mean,
fine.
I haven't got a shade chart or anything.
I thought you got like the deluxe. You've been to B&Q.
Measure it up against my skin, different shades of brown. So yeah, all's good. All's good with the world.
Good. Oh, I'm glad. Yeah, I'm glad you had a nice time. I'm glad you're back. But yeah, we have missed Joe. It's been quite busy in that, but we've had like a good couple of episodes. We had the Ariston, and last week we had Louise Parker, and we've started doing acoustic sessions at the end of each podcast as well.
You know what? It was really funny when I was I think it was maybe on the plane on the way out. I was thinking, what other things could we introduce into this podcast? And I thought, wouldn't it be great if we just brought a guitar along, like an acoustic guitar, and then at the very end they could play a song. So in the meantime of me being away, you've actually thought of that yourself and you started it.
Well, what it was, right? I'll level with you because I've always wanted to do like acoustic sessions, but like I said to Rob last week, I've sort of overcomplicated it in my head. So I sort of thought like, right, well, Islington Radio, they've got Crouch End Studios that is associated with this. They've also got the Archway Tavern up the road as well. And I sort of thought we could do something there, make it look really nice and look like sexy and all that. And I was like, we could do that. But then it's also then taking up more studio time of theirs. It's also in a completely different location, and it's lugging the gear from here to there and all that stuff. And I thought like, whatever.
Just whack out a guitar here.
Just whack it out.
Yeah.
And then, but it wasn't even really my decision. So what happened, right? So when I'm booking people in to come and be on part of the podcast, I say to them, I have said in the past, oh yeah, we're looking at doing acoustic tracks at some point or whatever. So we done the podcast with the Ariston, me, Rob, and my dad was here as well. Oh, Manish is back, by the way.
Back from holiday as well.
Yeah, the travellers have both returned. Welcome back. So I said to my dad about it that we... No, I didn't. We had the Ariston in and we were just talking. We'd done the whole podcast and literally we even finished early. We finished at like, usually when we do this, we start at like 7-ish, don't we? And we usually finish at like...
9:30?
Yeah, ish. Well, we finished at 9 o'clock with the Ariston, right? And I was like, oh, bloody, I'm going to be home by 10. This is brilliant, right? Not that I don't want to be here, but I also want a decent night's sleep. There have been nights I haven't got home until 1:30 after this. So it's been a bit drastic.
The early ones.
Yeah. But we done it. And then Luca was like, do you want me to play a couple of acoustic tracks? And I was like, fucking yes, let's go.
That's amazing. They brought their guitar along.
He brought his guitar. I just assumed they'd been somewhere. I didn't even think about it. I was being thick. And then they were like, oh yeah, do you want us to play a couple of acoustic tracks? And I was like, yeah, do you know what? That'd be brilliant. So what I've done since then is, I think I've included you on the group as well, haven't I, on Instagram?
I think you have. I haven't checked much since I've been away.
No, that's fine. I don't expect you to. But basically what I've done is I've now... So Louise Parker was in last week. She done a couple of acoustic tracks for us. They'll be on YouTube by the time you lot watch this. And every podcast guest that's coming up, I've invited to do acoustic tracks at the end. And what we're sort of asking of them is to do an original track of theirs, if it's their latest one or their most well-known one, whatever they want to do, one of their originals. And then a cover.
That's such a good idea.
But a cover of an emerging artist if possible, but if it isn't possible, that's absolutely fine. You just do a cover of your choice.
The good thing about doing covers is I think you can take a song that's really well known, like say Shape of You by Ed Sheeran, for instance. Everyone knows that song. Yeah. So if someone does a cover of it and they sound amazing doing it, then you immediately tick onto them because you know the song already. Yeah. And then if they're good at performing it, then you're like, oh, this artist is really good.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So that's one positive about doing a song that everyone would know.
Yeah, that's true.
Rather than emerging artists.
Yeah, but also I sort of like where... You know when you have, I don't know if you do it on your show, but Abby does it on hers where she's, shout out AB Violet, when she does her show, she said, I'll recommend another artist and stuff like that, right? So it's almost like a carry on of that. So if someone's like doing, so say for example, we had Charlie Baker in and he done the Lucetta's track, then they're both getting something out of it, really, aren't they? So it's all,
true.
so there's two ways of doing it, really. So we've got Eliza May in today.
We do.
And we're looking forward to seeing her.
I'm so excited to meet her.
So have you got a history of her then? Or
No,
have you just
I
done your
actually
research?
don't. No, I've just done some research, and it was one of her latest music videos for Candy Heart.
Yeah, I'll watch that again today, yeah.
Isn't she like the coolest person? I just watched that video and I was like, I feel like we would get along.
Yeah,
So
well,
it'll
we'll
be,
find out.
Well, yeah,
You'll
we'll
probably hate each other.
We'll find out soon. But she's just so smiley, and I'm just like, you're my sort of person. So,
Yeah, she seems a really nice girl, and
so we shall see.
we shall see. But yeah, I've spoke to her quite a bit in the past because she had some gigs coming up that we've sort of tried to. Yeah, I want to go and see her basically, but she's based in Birmingham, so she's come to London for work, but she's also here to come and do this as well, which is really, it's like the first, like, not out of towners, because we've had people come from Essex and stuff, and it's not exactly local for them
No, but
either.
that's special. That's quite a long journey
Yeah.
to make to come.
It's really nice. I'm really like
for Unsigned, especially.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah, that's good.
So we've got her in, so she's going to do a couple of acoustic tracks, but we've also invited back all of the previous guests. So
Oh, really?
Yeah, so
you're going back in time.
back in time.
So you're like, this isn't fair now. We need to level it out with everyone.
Well, yeah, because it's always something I've wanted to do, but then we just haven't. Because I think in the early days of the Unsigned podcast, if you go back and watch the episodes, I'm sure you won't know this, but we didn't really know what we were doing. It was just a case of like, we're going to try, see what happens.
Don't undersell yourself, Matt. You knew exactly what you were doing.
I knew what the vision was.
You were just, it was evolving over time.
Yeah, of course,
That's what it was doing. Don't undersell yourself.
No, you know what I mean, though. Like when you start anything new, it's like you just got to, not black, what is it? Fake it till you make it. It's sort of like that, right? So anyway, so
We've all done that.
We've always still doing it. I wanted to have acoustic tracks as a part of this, because when we've done events, when we've done the ones in Chelmsford and Southend, and our one that we're doing in September as well, the whole part of that for me is I want to record the audio from those nights so we can mix them and then we can play them on the radio and whatever. Do you know what I mean? It's always been a big part of it.
Yeah, because live is best, yeah.
Live music is best, and it gives us the opportunity to highlight the bands and play their music and all that stuff. But also feature it on our radio shows and stuff, because I think that is just, we're not just like any other promoter then. Like, do you know what I mean? We're offering something out for them, and there's longevity to those nights rather than it just being a one-night thing. So that's what I've always wanted to do. And I wanted the acoustic sessions for this to be a part of that as well. So as an example, Louise's track, Bring It On, in brackets, Set Me Free, which is coming out in September, she done that acoustically for us last week, and that's now on, we've recorded that, it's on YouTube, and I played it on my show Sunday Just Gone as well. So it's like, it's just having lots of different forms of media across the whole platform.
No, it's great. It's really good. It's a good idea.
Well, yeah, hopefully.
It's a good idea.
It's hopefully. So anyway, so we've invited everyone back who has been on. And we're going to try and get a couple of Saturdays booked in where people can come in, do a few tracks, and then go again. So they won't be here all day, and that I will be. But yeah, I just want to do that because it'd be nice to get people back and do that, because we weren't offering that out, because in the early days it was just a case of we just want to get in, do the podcast, find our feet, and now we can go back a little bit and.
No, it's good. I just hope every single time you introduce a new feature now, you go back and offer that as an interview to all the people that you've had previously in the podcast.
Do you know what, right? So obviously we've done the dream gig's always been a thing, isn't it?
Well, yeah. There was something before that.
I don't think it was called the dream gig at first.
Wasn't the very first ones we did just 20 minutes of questions and then more 20 minutes about them? Or no, quickfire.
Yeah, maybe. I've got some quickfire questions. So what I've done, right, I'm not going back and doing this for everyone, but what I have done, so when Rob was in last week, because it's like when me and you see each other every week, it's a case of like, what have you been up to? Not a lot, like work. But obviously you've been to Hawaii, so we can talk a little bit more about stuff like that. But generally, it's nice to have catch up for us in the first section. But I've also, Rob said, we probably need something a bit more in that first section rather than just us like gassing, basically. So what I've got this week is for us to sort of go through some tracks that are coming out over the next week from artists who have uploaded to Unsigned or Future Hits or Islington or whatever. So we can sort of give people a bit of a shout out. And if you've got gigs that are coming up, drop us a DM and stuff, and we'll mention it in this first section as well, because then it gives us a little bit more depth to it, I suppose, and gives you guys a bit more of a shout out when you are uploading stuff to us. So that's an idea.
That sounds good. Yeah. I'll be rubbish this week though, because I haven't listened to any new music in the last 3 weeks.
Do you know what?
You can count me out of this one. You can
mate, I've got it here. I might need to put my glasses on though. I tell you what I did listen to today. was
Yeah.
your Disney radio show.
Oh yeah. Because that's going out. Is it tomorrow?
Yeah, so
Tomorrow.
it would have been out by the time you guys listen. But if you go back to our Patreon, it's on there, or via Lizzie's website at lizzieromain.co.uk.
He's got it.
Bosh. So it's on there as well. But yeah, it was quite funny listening to that, because I found a picture of, or my mother-in-law shared a picture of my daughter dressed up as Tinkerbell, I think, the other
how
day.
sweet.
When she was like little. She
how
was like
cute.
2 maybe.
You've got to post that as well as you got to post that.
Yeah, I'll find it. But it was really cute. So it was quite nice. Like that was literally a couple of days ago, and then listening to your show today with that was quite sweet.
Oh, it all like sort of linked together.
It did.
Oh, how cute.
I like it when it does that. It's when like everything sort of aligns and it's like a nice little. Do you know what I mean?
I always meant to go back. So all of the photos of me when I was younger are in Devon under my stepdad's bed, just in case you wanted to know that fact.
With all of his money.
Yeah, well, he keeps all of his money as well. But they're all under his bed. And I know that there's a photo in there of me with one of those like really cheap plastic, tiaras on, the cheap plastic necklace, the horrible like cheap plastic shoes that are just terrible. And I know that there's a photo of me dressed up like a princess. I think the fake earrings as well, the ones that clip at the back. Yeah, I had those as well. And I really want to find it. Sorry?
What princess were you dressed up as? Or was it Disney princess? Or
Disney princess. Yeah, I don't think it was that specific back then, because nowadays you can go out and you can buy like a, Anna outfit or an Elsa outfit. Back when we were young, way back when,
I wasn't buying outfits to put on for Disney princesses.
There was just nothing. There wasn't even any Harry Potter outfits. Whereas these days you can go out to the shop, you can buy like the full gear. Like I think for me, I was wrapping a bin bag around my shoulders and going on a broomstick that my mum had and just like pretending that was my Nimbus 2000, When
we done Halloween one year, right? Well, when we were kids, Halloween was like not as big as it is now, but it was still quite a big thing, right? When we were sort of 10, 11-ish, maybe a bit older. Anyway, we never really went out and got like costumes because they were expensive. And all that, right? So my mum would always like, right, you're going to be like Dracula. And then you're going to have like a bin bag on your back and we'll just do that. And it was literally like bin bags were our outfits for Halloween. It's funny you mentioned that. But one year...
Every year or a sheet, you're a ghost.
Yeah, exactly. One year, right, my mate Miles, shout out Miles, he forgot about getting an outfit. So he was wearing like a big jumper and he literally just put his head in his jumper. So he looked headless. And he got
That's great.
It was good. He adapted well.
That's great. That's so much cheaper than these days when there's so many outfits in the shops.
Yeah.
I mean, you as having kids, like I guess you know this, you go to the shops and then there's all these outfits, but they're all probably 20 quid a pop?
Yeah, pretty much. They are quite a lot. I mean, my mother-in-law told me the other day that a friend of hers, I'm sure it was her, well, someone told me the other day anyway that there was like a Poundland closing down somewhere, and these people went and got all like a load of Halloween gear for like 82p or something stupid. But there you go. There's some consumer advice for
Goes Poundland.
Goes Poundland. Yeah. But where were we going with that? We were talking about Disney, weren't we?
We were talking about...
So anyway, I enjoyed your show.
Oh, thank you. That's good. I need to do one for before next week. Next week's going to be a bit mad for me because I'm starting my new job. So
yeah.
I don't know quite yet. I need to do another positive new music releases, but I've got so much music that's been building up in my 3 weeks off.
Yeah.
So it might take me a little bit of time to sort of get the next show up and running. So it might be one more repeat before I do a fresh one.
That's fine. If you want to listen to Lizzie... you can go to Future Hits on Wednesdays at 7 p.m.
That's the one.
And you'll be on there. You can listen to that via Alexa or on futurehits.co.uk and also on Hayes as well.
On Hayes FM, 91.8. Thursdays 1 till 3 p.m. And at the moment, it's actually a sort of house remix vibe thing going on Hayes at the moment because that was the one that I did before I went away. So nice. Yeah, nice bit of EDM house music.
I love a bit of EDM.
Yeah, it's good. It wasn't future artists though. It's more kind of...
Yeah.
Well-known artists.
Have you heard, shout out Swiss, who does it on a Friday, Freddie. Is it Freddie? You need to tell me. I keep saying Swiss. If it's Swiss rather than Swiss, you need to tell me.
He doesn't even know how to pronounce your name.
Well, because it's got a U. He's got a U.
Swiss.
Hasn't
he had a baby recently?
Why are you doing this to me live on air?
Why?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think so.
No?
I don't think so.
Is there another one? There's definitely so.
I don't think Freddie's had a baby. He's just been in Thailand for like the last month.
Maybe there's another one called
Maybe.
Swiss. I need to check my Instagram.
There's only one
now.
Freddie. There's only one Freddie. But he's like on a Friday, so at 7 p.m. on futurehits.co.uk and Alexa, he does his house mix every Friday. So that's quite nice. I quite like that. Listen to that.
Is that emerging artists as well then?
No, so it's just generic sort of music generally. I'm hoping we'll get some emerging artists thrown in at some point. But,
okay.
But yeah,
so if you want that for my show next week, then I can always remix the one that's gone on Hayes.
Maybe we could talk about this off air, can't we?
We'll talk about this.
We could talk about it off air.
Yeah.
What we are going to talk about is our event that's coming up. So we have an event at Hotbox in Chelmsford on Thursday, the 29th of September. If you go to our website, unsignedmusic.uk/events, all the information is on there. You can register to be a part of it if you want to be the main support. We've got the great Leslie headlining.
Which is amazing. Might finally get to meet them.
Yeah. Put that in your diary, definitely. Be there for that. So they've got them headlining, and we're looking for 2 support artists to be a part of the evening. And if you want tickets to that, they're available on Dice as well. But all of that is available at unsignedmusic.uk/events. So come and be a part of that. And also, as always, if you want to submit music to us here at Unsigned, unsignedmusic.uk, you scroll down, you see submit your music. Get it up there and we'll get it on the radio as soon as we possibly can. Right, let's do this new bit, right? So basically, because Rob said that I gassed too much. How dare he? I wanted to put a few things, we'll do some song releases first, right? So what's the date today? The day is the 16th. We film this on Tuesdays, by the way. So around this week, right, we've got some tracks that we've been playing on my radio show, and a few of the other shows that we play on Future Hits. Also on Islington, some of these artists have been on as well. So we've got Project Culture. They've got their new track. Green Ring Neck Parakeets, played that on my show before. The Arliston with Mothering. You mentioned the Arliston earlier.
Yeah. What track have they?
Mothering. It's coming out on the 12th. It came out on the 12th.
Yeah. I know they've got a new track coming. Yeah.
How do you know them then?
So I've played them on my show before.
Oh, cool.
Twice, I think.
It's the first track they've uploaded to.
Yeah, there was another one called Chamomile. I actually think they messaged me saying we've got a new release. I'm pretty sure. Okay. And I said, I'm away on holiday for 3 weeks, but if you want to get played sooner, I've done this quite a few times now. I've said, if I'm away on holiday, but if you want to get played sooner, then upload it to Matt and he'll play it instead.
Sweet. That's exactly what I did.
So I'm sending a few people your way, which is good.
It is really good.
Yeah.
So they've got a track coming out. Reese Byrne with Hammerfall, that's coming out. We've got Mimi, Oblivion Baby. That's getting played exclusively on Abby's show tonight, which would have been last Tuesday. That's out as well. We've got Actori with Be Who You Are. Untold Poet, Shut It Down's coming out as well on the 27th of August.
I know him as well.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
He's hopefully he'll be on here at some point as well.
That'd be great. I think I actually did. I mentioned to him. He was talking about interviews. I think I said to push you away.
He was quite funny actually because I've interviewed him for Radio Southend before.
Oh really?
Because he's from Southend.
Oh, is he? Okay.
So when I put a post out the other week about who should we invite onto the podcast? Like shout out artists you think should be a part of it. And I know what he did. He went to a few. I reckon he went to a few people he knew because I recognise some of the names. He went, "Wait, tag us in that."
Tag us in that. Well, that's a good idea. You've got to do that.
Yeah, you'll be coming on at some point, mate. October, get booked in. And then good. King Koi's new track Gemini is also out now as well. That came out on the 12th as well. So loads of great tracks that are coming out. And what we'll do every couple of weeks or whatever, we'll shout out a few tracks that we know of that are coming out, that are available on Spotify, iTunes, and all that sort of good stuff. So if you have a track coming out soon, let us know. Better yet, get it uploaded to
futurehits.co.uk
there, or unsignedmusic.uk as well. Right, news time. We haven't got a jingle or anything. Should we have a news jingle at some point?
What did you just put up?
I just turned it down because I did it down last week. If you haven't listened yet, when my dad was here, rather than me do the clap, everyone went because there's a that's clap still. Anyway, let's forget about that. Right, so a bit of news that I saw this week. Ocean Floors, our band, not our band, but the band that we met through.
Yes.
Ocean Floors. They've just announced a new gig.
Okay,
on
good.
Friday the 14th of October, they're going to be headlining the Colours of Hoxton.
Oh, that's a very good venue, which I've been to before.
I haven't been there.
It's really good. I actually think that's the first club in London that I've gone to which had completely unisex toilets, which is kind of cool.
What? Oh, okay.
So you go in there and it's just one stool and like men and women can go in there because it's got quite they have quite a lot of like drag queens and stuff go in there and perform as well. So it's a really good venue. Sorry.
Okay, cool. No, it's good to know.
That's really good.
They've also got Katie for King's Sorry, got a message. They've got Katie for Kings who's supporting as well. Katie's from Chelmsford, played her tracks on the radio loads of times. Her newest track, I think, is Cherry Baby that I've had, but there might have been a new one since, but she needs to upload that. But she's going to be there on the 14th of October. Their tickets are available via their bio. Go and find them on Instagram, which is Ocean Floors UK. And one of the bands that we have had on here told me to tell everyone that you can pre-save their new single now. Yellow Lions by the Ariston is available for pre-save. It's coming out in September. Go and pre-save that now.
That's quite hard to do though, isn't it?
Why?
Well, like going on the pre-save, you need a link. I hope you need to put the link.
Go to the Ariston Band on Instagram and you can find it via their bio. Everything's on Instagram, isn't it?
It's true, it's true.
Go and find their Instagram bio. Go into the link in their bio and you'll find it all. That's where all our information is, isn't it?
It's true.
It is true. And then last bit of news I will tell you about is the Anorak and Blue Feed, who are bands that I've played on my show a number of times. They've got an event coming up at the Cambridge Junction on Friday the 16th of September. A little way off for that one, but it's definitely one that I would recommend going to see because they're two great bands, two young bands in Cambridge. And I'd love to be able to get up there and see them for that. What else has been going on? What else have we got to talk about? Say it. No. She's got her prep. What I will say is that the acoustic sessions are all going to be on YouTube after it's been on early access on Patreon. If you want to be part of our Patreon, what's that? Hey, as if by magic, Patreon.
There you go.
I
finally remembered it after about 3 months. So better late than never.
And good timing as well. I was mentioning our Patreon.
You knew.
I didn't. It was a complete guess.
You knew. No, you knew. I was wrestling in the bag.
Guess. Our Patreon is where all of the early access videos go. All the audio from all of the radio shows we do, all of the podcasts we do are all going on there as well. So early access, go to our Patreon, patreon.com/Unsigned Music UK, and you can get everything you need on there. £1 a month as well, by the way, which we then will put towards doing a podcast, doing events, all that sort of good stuff. So we'd appreciate some support on there.
And T-shirts for all of your co-hosts.
Yeah, I need to get them sorted. Yeah, but you look much more glamorous in that than in this.
I mean, this was just something that was left over that I didn't wear in Hawaii. So I was like, carry on the holiday mood.
You got to. Especially when it's raining out.
Well, looking at what Eliza May usually wears.
Yeah.
I mean, she's just got the best clothing ever. So I was like, if we're having Eliza May on today, then... need to be colourful. She's a colourful girl.
She is, yeah.
She's a colourful girl.
I was going to ask her about her music videos. You mentioned Candy Heart. I think the first track that she uploaded to us was Edge This Way. And it looks like the music video was shot in similar studios. So it'd be quite interesting.
She's got lots of like pastel colours going on, which I really, really love, like on the back of her artwork. And her eyeshadow. I really hope that she's got that on today because it's just amazing.
I can't say I've noticed her eyeshadow.
Oh, come on. You must have seen her eyeshadow. I know you're a bloke and everything, but you must have seen her eyeshadow.
A bloke and everything.
Well, yeah, but...
there's certain things I see and certain things that I don't. Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
no.
But there's going to be things that you see in people that I don't see and vice versa.
I mean, sure, but
like, I wouldn't
her
know.
Eyeshadow really stands out,
fine.
though.
All right, well, I'll make sure I look. She'll walk in, I'll be like staring
at her eyes.
What are you doing? She said.
She won't have it now. It'll just be like one colour. But it's usually multicoloured. It's really cool.
Okay, cool. Well, look forward to that.
Yeah, I am.
Good. Right, we're going to have a break. Eliza's going to be here soon, and we will see you in section 2. Hi everyone, welcome to the Unsigned podcast. Hopefully you're enjoying the episode this week, but I wanted to talk to you about our Patreon. It's basically a subscription service that puts money back into Unsigned, if that's the podcast, a radio show, whatever. It helps us generate a bit of an income to support these unsigned artists and to run events and also do this podcast every week. So if you want to support the podcast and support the Unsigned music brand, you can go to Patreon, patreon.com/Unsigned Music UK, and you can sign up for just £1 a month. What can you get for that price? Anyway, let's get back to the episode.
The Unsigned Podcast.
Hi everyone, welcome back to the Unsigned podcast. We are joined by Eliza May.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. Very warm, very sweaty.
Yeah, don't worry about it. I just go bright red and then it'll be fine.
It doesn't show on camera, it's fine. Joel will adjust it all so that the colour balance is perfect. So you will not see it at all.
No pressure, Joel. Joel's our editor, by the way. Very good editor. Thank you very much, Joel. He always gets a shout out. Every episode he gets a shout out. We're paying him in love.
Exactly. You need appreciation for these things.
He does. He's brilliant.
Yeah.
He's brilliant.
So there we go.
He has said he's enjoying like the acoustic tracks we started doing because it's like.
Yeah.
I mean, he obviously loves listening to us talk for an hour and a half, but I think it's also nice for him to see something slightly different as well.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm guessing with editing, you do your own editing.
I do, yeah.
Because on your music video, it said that you were the
Director,
director, editor.
Yep.
producer,
And I don't think you said producer. I think you just said you
I did
at the top.
starring.
Starring
yeah.
me. Yeah, no, I that was a lot of work. But when I was younger, I edited a lot of like YouTube videos in Final Cut Pro.
Yep.
So instead of like hiring an editor, because I knew what I was sort of doing, I was like, I'll do it myself, and it took forever. So
Yeah, but you're probably quite good at it now, though, right? The more you do.
Yeah, like the more you do, the better you get, obviously. But like, it's still a long job for a music video. Like, I prefer
100%.
YouTube vlogs. Way easier.
Do you find it more difficult when it's your own stuff? Because when you're editing, you're like, oh, I could do that bit. Oh, I could do that bit. Oh, I'll just change that bit. And it's like, when it's a job and you're editing, you're sort of like, right, get that done. Right, next job. Whereas when it's your own thing.
It's harder, I think, because you're harder on yourself as well, because you want it to be perfect.
Yeah.
And I guess with like a vlog or like a day in the life kind of thing, it's not as difficult because it's just very genuine and organic.
Yeah.
Whereas like a music video, it's got to be high quality. It's got to be up to a certain standard. So it's a little bit more pressure.
And you also kind of cut it to like what the music is saying, what the music is doing.
Yeah.
It is harder, isn't it?
Yeah.
I've got a question for
Go
you
on.
actually on that music video. So that is for the music video for Candy Heart, which
Yeah.
was released recently.
Yeah.
Who is the guy in it? Is it your boyfriend?
Yes, that is.
He's in the other one as well, isn't
He
he?
is in the other one as well.
Yes.
What's your
I had
boyfriend
to
called?
ask that question.
Connor.
Shout out, Connor.
Yes.
It's really cute.
Oh, thank
it's so
you.
cute. I love it.
We've been together now for nearly like 4 years, so like it just felt right to have him in, and he's just very extroverted, so he was like, get me involved.
No, it's perfect. Why would you bother acting with any other dude when you can just have your real boyfriend in
He does
there?
he really acts in it as well, doesn't he?
He's
It's
way
not
better
like
at acting than me, honestly. He was teaching me how to act, especially for the like edge of this music video.
Yeah.
He was like, be mean in certain bits, because like the whole like contrast in that video is half of it is him portrays himself and the other part is like him portrays like my ex.
Right.
So he wears different suits and like different outfits in that video. And he was like, be mean in these like videos, and I was like, I can't. Like, it's really hard.
I watched that video and I was like, I'm going to like this girl. She is so smiley and just so lovely. I was like,
you.
I really do not think that I'm going to meet Eliza May and not like her. And that was just from watching that video. So I'm not trying to make you blush or
Oh no,
anything.
I'll cry, don't.
it was either going to go one or two ways. It was like you either hate each other or love each other.
Okay, I'm glad
I
it's
know
love.
these things. I know these. I was actually saying to Matt before you came, I was
Yeah.
like, I know I'm going to like Eliza May because of that music video. And then I said, you haven't got the eyeshadow on.
No,
we were
it's too
talking about the eyeshadow. I was like, you
I
have to check
didn't
out the
know. I-
eyeshadow.
Oh, next time, honestly,
Yeah.
for this outfit, I would have gone for like white and blue as well. And I did it like a week
So
ago.
good.
And it was 10 out of 10. So next time, I promise.
Okay.
Love this girl chat.
Should we do your eyeshadow as
Oh,
well?
I'm ready.
Do you know what, right? I don't care about it. I'm quite happy doing whatever. Like, because I've got my daughter, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure she
She's
puts
saying-
lipstick and stuff on you.
Yeah, nail varnish. Well, she
Yeah.
hasn't done it in a while, but when she was like little, she used to like doing like nail varnish and stuff like that. But I don't mind all that. I'm quite happy. Like,
Yeah.
I'm a daughter's dad. Do you know what I mean?
Oh,
But also my son as well. He doesn't mind either. Like, he'll quite happily get involved. So it's like he's like, I know what my toes doing.
I'm ready.
Yeah, he don't care. It's like, do you know what I mean? I'm not. Whatever makes you comfortable, I don't care. Whatever. We were talking about Candy Heart. So when did that come out?
So that came out on the 15th of July. So
Yeah.
basically a month ago now. God.
Literally.
Feels like it's a short amount of time that it actually has been, because I think in the lead up to it, we did so much stuff to prepare for it. And now it's out. I'm like, oh, it feels like it was last week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We played it on our show a few times, and
Oh,
you
yeah.
very kindly done like an intro for it as well. So
Yeah.
I like all that. Yeah, we pretty much nicked that off you, didn't we? I didn't realise until you like go, oh, that's the concept I've had for the last like 2 years. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, if you want to go back, you can check back
Yeah, I
on
know,
the
I have.
exact date.
Well, I've been listening
that
to
I started
replays,
doing
haven't I?
that. Yeah.
So yeah, no, it was good. I liked stuff like that because I mean,
thank
it's
you.
nice to be able to obviously get people in the studio in here,
Yeah.
but can't do that for 100 odd tracks we get sent every month or whatever. So it's nice when people do that.
I was honoured that you asked me to do it as well, because like I don't get asked that a lot. I'm like, oh my God, you want more from me? Yeah, I'll give it you.
Yeah, of course.
Go for it.
Honestly, you're actually, so I've been away for the last 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So I know Candy Heart came out and you're on my next review list, which has got about 150 songs in at the moment.
Oh my goodness.
So I need to go through it, but I do want to get you on my show as well, because I do really love the track. So I know that you submitted it to me and I haven't got back, but it's just because I've been away.
Honestly,
So
don't even worry. I feel like everyone's so busy all the time. Like people message me and I'm like, oh, I haven't replied to that. God, I have to get back to that.
But everyone's busy, aren't they? It's all just about finding the time. But there's no pressure with any of it. Like we ain't going anywhere. So it's just when you've got new music out and stuff, we're here.
Are you working towards an EP then? So
I
you've
am
got
indeed.
you've got 2 tracks out in 2022.
Yep.
There was Candy Heart. I can't remember the first one.
Edge This Way.
That's
Oh,
Edge.
Oh, here we go. Getting my tracks wrong.
I've even wrote down Edge This Way as well. What was it called?
Edge of this. But it's so funny. It is so funny because you've
Izzy, it's your fault.
You've had the post being like, Eliza May, Edge This Way. I was like, I'll let it be. It's fine.
Oh
It's
my God,
actually-
I've got it wrong since then.
I was like, it's fine. People know the name.
Right,
It's
for the
fine.
record,
You're terrible.
I have been getting this wrong since you released it
Yeah.
in
Like, I think it was January.
shit.
January.
I'm so sorry.
No, it's fine.
I even wrote it down. I even checked earlier, right? So I was
Wow.
looking through like Spotify and
Yeah.
things like that, and I didn't even register that I'd been sat. I even wrote it down wrong on here.
But like the brain does such funny things.
Edge This Way.
way.
I should rename it
Edge
that.
of it. Yeah.
Edge this way.
Yeah, that's what I was
Talk
thinking.
this way.
Aerosmith.
Yeah.
I'll rebrand it's fine.
I'm so sorry. Do you know what? Like that is one of my biggest like pet peeves of like getting stuff wrong, because like people always say, and you can relate to this as well. People always say my surname wrong. They always say Wherry.
Yeah.
Even people that have been on this, even people that have guested on this podcast say my name fucking wrong. Get it right. Oh, I nearly said it wrong myself. Wherry. But yours is Romain with no E.
But my previous name was Rowley.
Oh,
So my what's it called? Maiden name. My maiden name was Rowley, but
Right.
people used to always say Rowley. So when I got it changed to Romain, I was like, great, no one can get it wrong. The only thing they get wrong now
Spelling.
is adding the E, which is fine. I can deal with that.
Fair enough. Yeah, no, it's
So-
it's one of my pet peeves. So I always, if I can't, I'd rather say to someone, I've never done it with a track, right?
Yeah.
But I've always, like, say
Until
for
now.
example, so yeah, I know. If someone sent me a
It's always
track
a
in
first.
Yeah.
and someone I've been playing for fucking ages as well, if I've got someone that come in, right, and I don't know how to pronounce their name, I'd rather send them a voice note and go, I'm really sorry, could you just tell me how to pronounce your name, because I don't want to say it wrong on the
done that.
radio,
Yeah.
right? And I'd rather do that. Because I don't want to get it wrong, because I know how frustrating it can be, but I've never done it with a track, so I do apologise.
The first, it's fine. Exclusives.
Okay, now I've got to go back and change it.
That is a really good track, though. I really
Yeah.
Thank you.
That one's really
that
good.
was a fun one.
It's like spangly, like jangly, spangly guitar.
Yeah.
That's what I really love.
Oh, that guitar part, there's 2 like guitar parts overlapped and I'm playing like rhythm, but there's like a finger picking part that I came with like ages ago and I didn't know what to do with it. And then I found the right like song and I was like, this is it.
Yeah.
And then it just all kind of fit together. It was amazing.
That must have been so exciting when you just layered it and it
was
worked.
so satisfying. I was like, oh my God, it worked.
We were talking about things just falling into place earlier, weren't we?
Yeah.
And that's what can happen. I think in any artistic form, when things just fall into place, you know, right, I'm doing the right thing here.
Yeah.
I mean, mine was a Patreon mug being delivered by Lizzie, but
It was only like
3 months in the waiting.
3 months late.
Oh my
Every
God.
single time it was like the Patreon mug, and I was like, oh, shit, I forgot again. And then the next week, shit, I forgot it again. Finally remembered.
Finally
It's
remembered. Yeah.
Maybe it was a jet lag that helped.
Maybe.
It
Should
helped
go
my
to Hawaii
memory.
more often.
I should, yeah.
Sounds great. I'll go with you.
Yeah, come along, come
Jesus
along.
Christ! What's this like? What's the equivalent of a girl bromance?
Well, it's happening right now.
Yeah, a gal month.
Don't know. Where did you get started then? So how long? Because you've obviously, I'm going to say it wrong every single time, but you've released 2 tracks that I've
Yeah.
had. What other tracks have you? When did you get started then? When was
So, in terms of like releasing music, I released my first single in March 2018.
Right.
So I'd basically done my uni degree and was coming near the end of it, and I'd written a song for like an assignment. I did it in like 2 weeks, and I sat there mixing and mastering for like 7 hours with my producer friend Jamie,
Yeah.
who he still does the producing for all of my stuff as
Oh, cool.
well. We just like chat about the mixing and mastering, but we sat there for ages just trying to like make it perfect for this assignment. And I was like, oh, I'll like put my heart into it. It's not going anywhere. It's for a uni degree. Like
Yeah.
it's fine. And then someone convinced me to release it, and I was like, oh, I'm scared, because it was like first release as well, and it's a long song. I released The Fall, that was the first one,
Right.
So it was like really overwhelming, but I did it, and I got a really positive response from it. So that was the first release track, and I think that's like 5,000 streams on Spotify now. Which
wow.
I was like, no one's going to hear this, and now it has that many streams, and I'm like, great, good. I'm glad you're liking it, but that was terrifying.
So is that like
really cool.
with your streams and that?
Yeah.
The first track, I'm not even going to say it anymore. The first track you upload to me has had like,
So about 8,000.
Yeah, that's the most amount of streams I've ever had on a track, and I can't believe that many people have listened to it.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Did it get on 20 playlists, or is that just naturally?
No, I did get on quite a few playlists, but I didn't ever like expect it, because you put a song out there and you're like, I hope the people that are already listening to me like it and it grows in some way, but you never really like expect it to go as far as it has done before. So when it does, it's like, oh my God, like there's a lot of firsts that happened with that track.
Yeah.
So like when I was applying for like festivals and like everything that was happened in the last like couple of months, like that track was the one that really drove everything.
Yeah, I was going to ask that. Is that what opened a lot of doors then? Because you've been at some great festivals.
Was it Why Not and Sunflower?
Why Not? Yeah, Sunflower Lounge in Birmingham, and then there was the Why Not Festival.
I supported Kate Nash as well because of that.
Wow.
Mind-blowing, absolutely mind-blowing. Like everything that's happened this year has been the best things that have ever happened to me, like extreme highs, but then like I've always had the extreme lows to like kind of even it out, and I think every artist does.
I think everyone does.
Yeah.
I think it doesn't matter what form of life you go through, everyone's going to have some epic downs and epic ups, and it's just trying to find the balance in between.
It's just the journey, isn't it? You've got to just ride the roller coaster.
It's almost like the world is like you can't quite be 100% happy, right? So like, just personal example, I'm finishing my old job, which I've wanted to leave for a long time. I'm starting a new job, and then I had Hawaii. But then my grandma died just before Hawaii. So when it's just like, you can be really happy, but then there's just life just like throws in a curveball. It's just like you can't be 100% there yet though.
Yeah, but this was me because like my nan passed like in December last year. I've not really spoken about it that much because I was like, I just want to like let it be and like whatever happens. But like it happened just before Edge of This and everything. So I kind of like dove into Edge of This as much as possible to kind of like distract myself. But like I still feel like my nan would be up there like supporting me. So it kind of like was the motivation to keep going. So,
That's it.
Completely get it. Completely.
So weird though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Really weird.
It's horrible. A loss at any point is going to be difficult, and I think that obviously, because yours is obviously very recent, so it's always going to be really hard. But I think it's how as a writer, I guess like when you're going through that sort of stuff, it gives you sort of some motivation and some, not material, it's not the right way of saying it, but do you know what I mean? It gives you something to write about and to how to express in a better way, maybe.
Yeah, because like a lot of the time, if I'm going through something, I'll like write about it. So when I went through that, I wrote a song that is probably won't be released for a very long time, but I did a gig at Pizza Express with my band, like I think it was early June, and we made sure we put that song in, so that it was like a very special moment, and it was like the perfect song for the perfect moment, and it kind of helped with like the grieving process. So I feel loads better now that I've done that. But yeah, it's so weird what life can throw at you and like the music you can make out of these situations. Yeah.
I think when you're going through anything, I find that when you've got a lot going on upstairs, as I say, like in your head, writing it down. It wasn't even my concept.
Downstairs.
Well, I do a bit of thinking down there sometimes as well, but not very often. No, what I meant
If there's an upstairs, there's a downstairs.
Lizzie!
I'm just saying.
Can I just say for the record, I didn't initiate that.
Oh my gosh.
It wasn't even my saying either. A mate of mine said, how's that? Like, he'll text me every now and again. He will never text me saying, how's downstairs doing? But he will text me and go, everything upstairs all right? Anyway.
So that means your brain, right?
Yeah, like mental health wise. Yeah. That brain.
Not the other one.
No, get off that subject. Bloody hell, you've been on holiday, have you? So yeah, I think mental health wise, I think it always helps to get stuff written down or out of you, because if you leave it inside too much, then that's when it can sort of blow up. And I imagine,
it can fester, can't it?
Yeah, of course it can.
Yeah,
definitely. So yeah, you said supporting Kate Nash. So how did that come about then?
Oh my gosh, the most insane.
Big tar.
Is that her? My nose, I can just see it. Lovely. But yeah, so I was on Twitter and I just was like scrolling. I was literally just scrolling, and I saw that Kate Nash had put her email on there. It was just like, oh, like if anyone wants to support, here's the email. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go for that.
Yeah.
But like it was so hidden. It was like a reply to someone, I think. So like it wasn't like a very obvious tweet. I saw it was like a
reply to.
I think so, yeah. And so I saw it and was like, oh, I better just like shoot my shot, like see what happens, because at least even if I don't hear anything from it, like she knows I exist. It's kind of like putting your foot through the door in some way, even if the door doesn't fully open. So I emailed, heard nothing, kind of forgot about it for like 2 weeks, and then I was playing a different gig. I was at the Flapper in Birmingham. and I was tipping it down with rain, and I was like, this isn't the greatest like environment for a gig, but like I've had a good time, like, but it just isn't like the best thing in the world yet. Like it's just another gig, like keep going. And I looked at my phone and I just got a notification in my email being like Kate Nash support, and I was like, sorry? And so I opened it and I was like, no way. And it was literally, it wasn't even like a very professional looking email. It was just like, oh, hi Eliza, like I was wondering if you'd want to be like Kate support. You emailed in like from her tour manager. And I was like, what?
That's amazing.
And I was literally stood there like, is this real? I showed my boyfriend and he was like, oh my God. And then I texted my bandmates and they were like, no way. Like,
how cool is
that's
that?
amazing.
It was incredible. And I think though Kate Nash is a very like cool artist because she's independent now as well, and she's been through so much that she understands the struggle of artists. So I think all of her supports for that tour were independent artists.
That's
and
amazing.
Then she'll support her best friend as well. So it was a really nice lineup, a really nice night as well.
How many?
Yeah, no, just drop her a message.
Drop her a message.
Yeah, just drop her an email. The thing is, a lot of like band emails, they're quite sort of guessable in a way.
Yeah.
It's usually like elizamay@gmail.com. That's probably not your email, but it's usually, or you know,
I won't say it, but I know it.
do you know what I mean? You can usually guess an artist's email address because it's usually like the name of the band and then @gmail.com.
Yeah.
It's usually gmail.com.
Yeah, there's a couple of Hotmails out there, but
but it's usually Gmail.
Yeah, I think her one's in her like Twitter bio though, so like anyone can literally just email her. But whether you get a reply, obviously, is a
it goes to their
different.
management as well, probably.
Yeah.
Doesn't it? Have you? Are you like? Do you have any management people, or is
Not
it just
yet.
you?
It is just me, and it's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work.
But I really enjoy it, and I think I am getting to a place where like it is starting to become a bit much. So I might look into getting a manager at some point soon. But like I'm not quite there yet. I think I've got a tiny bit further to go. Like I don't know. I enjoy doing stuff myself, and like with my band, and there's a lot of group input from like the band, and then my boyfriend and my best friend Brills, who does my photography as well. Yeah. So it feels like we're already a little team. So
I think it will come naturally anyway. I think if you carry on, then the right people will see you and approach you.
Hopefully.
I don't think you'll need to go out and look very hard. I think they'll just, from what we know, I think they just come, don't they?
I think the thing is, like when
I've
looked for people to be a part of this or Future Hits or any project I've tried doing, people that are supposed to be a part of it in the grand scheme, in my head, in the bigger picture wise, people that are supposed to be a part of it just appear and they want to be a part of it. They get it. Like me and Lizzie met through Ocean Floors. So Ocean Floors, I think Ocean Floors messaged me and said, "Oh, we know Lizzie, and she wants to do some radio work. Can you recommend X, Y, and Z?" Yeah. We had a conversation. We've done this about 2 weeks later.
Wow.
So like, I think like the right people appear at the right moments.
Yeah.
Manish is an example. Brilliant Manish is here, right? Producer Manish, and like if it weren't for Isn't Some Radio, I wouldn't know him. So it's like it's funny how it all sort of pieces together. So
I agree.
It's all they say about love as well, don't they? You won't find it when you're looking for it, but then it just appears.
Literally,
when you're not looking.
When you're not looking, yeah.
I think they'll appear. I do.
Yeah, I hope so. Like, to be honest, I think a lot of things on my journey as well, like, I feel like a lot of things have come to me, like, not like they've been delivered on a plate or anything, but like I've seen them and I've seen things and it's just like right time, right place kind of thing. So like, even like this, like, I just always look for little radio stations to kind of like make friends with and like get involved with because I love that kind of thing. Yeah. And also I love the video side of things as well as the like radio and like just the audio side. Yeah,
because we've had a couple of conversations. So
So like I was like, oh, you're looking for people? Please have me on. And I was really grateful when you said yes. So
yeah, 100%. Yeah. Oh, anyone who wants to be a part of this is amazing, and giving up your time to come here and be a part of it is like, I think we're helping each other out, aren't we? Do you know what I mean? Like, we're trying to grow, you're trying to grow, and it's all about helping each other. I always say
it's like a community, isn't it?
It is though. It really
Big
is.
love.
Yeah. It really is. And what I've started to do is that we've started to create a bit of a group on Instagram for everyone who's been on the podcast.
Oh, nice.
So like they can all network, and like if there's stuff that we need a band to come and support us here or whatever, like it's there for that as well.
That's amazing.
It's not just right, you've been in, right, see you later.
Bye.
We like everyone being a part of it, and I love it when like you get returning artists as well, like uploading stuff. Yeah. Without having to be like, wait.
Yeah, it's nice when they just email you and they're like, here's my track.
So when you get a text off them and stuff, and it's like, oh, just to let you know we're doing this, you fancy coming down or whatever. It's nice to have that communication basically, because they're the ones who stick in your head.
Exactly.
So do you have any more tracks? I'm guessing you're going to release another EP. So the first EP was it 2019 or 2020?
2019, yeah, like literally June before, like the year before the pandemic.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay.
But it was so cool because I did everything myself, and I went to a lot of venues and was like, oh, I really want to do an EP launch. And they were like, where's your deposit for this room? I want you to pay for the room, instead of like being like, oh, like what's your idea first? And so I managed to find a venue in Birmingham. It was called the Prince of Wales. I think it was on Cambridge Street. And they were like, you can have the room for free, but the event has to be a free event. So instead of like charging people, we just wanted good vibes there. And we ended up just making money through merch instead. And it was just the best night ever because it was just like good vibes, good love.
Yeah.
And the owner at the time, I think her name was Lisa Travers. I think she has like a connection to like UB40. She's really cool. But she was just so kind that evening. And I think without her help, like that EP launch wouldn't have been as successful as it was.
Again, right people, right time.
Exactly. But also as well, I think a lot of people like love music in like the community. So when you have that love for artists and unsigned people in particular, like it's so much easier to get things going because people are already supporting.
How is the scene in Birmingham then? Because I see a lot of people coming out of around Birmingham and surrounding areas that I haven't had the opportunity to go and meet. You're the first person you're literally the furthest person who's come.
No way.
To be on the pod.
I feel honoured.
So it's like, what is the scene?
We're honoured.
We're honoured, yeah. We've only travelled an hour.
I mean, from Izzy's house, it's an hour. So same journey. But yeah, no, there's quite a good scene and like there's loads of different promoters. And what's good about Birmingham is there are some like younger people now starting to become promoters. Yeah. So like the people that have been going to gigs know what a good gig looks like and they're starting to put on the good gigs. So it's quite a good scene. There's some really good bands like coming out of Birmingham. Yeah. But I think there is still lots of work to do in terms of like the female artist kind of side of things because like I get put on lineups sometimes and I'm like, I am the only female on this lineup. Right. Or like I'll be an artist amongst only female artists, but we're all different genres. Yeah. So it doesn't quite fit, especially if I'm playing with my band. Yeah. Because like that's a very full on vibe compared to like an acoustic artist who's just brought a guitar and you don't want it to be like too overwhelming. So like there's still work to do, but I think like it's getting better, which is really good. And there is such a good community there. So yeah,
it seems to be very supportive in Birmingham. I mean, they just had the Commonwealth Games, haven't they? And it's like the amount of people that were there for that. I know it's not music related, but like the amount of people that were there for that. And so the vibe in Birmingham through that was amazing. Literally, it did feel very like community based, and like I live quite like central in the middle of Birmingham, so I got to see everything pretty much, and it was just very vibrant, like lots of life. And then when everyone left, it was like, oh, it's really quiet outside, but weird. When you said you supported Kate Nash, did you manage to spend any time with her at all? Yeah. Oh my gosh. What was some advice that she gave you? She didn't really give me any advice. She was just really nice. Yeah. Like she was so down to earth. And like there was a moment where me and my band were like getting ready to put all of our stuff on stage, and she came down and just chatted to us all. Like she didn't have to at all. Like she had busier things to be dealing with, and she just chatted to us and was just really, really nice. And then like later on in the evening, we were like trying to take photos with like the sign that was like live, like Kate Nash. Yeah. And she came in and was like, I'm photobombing, and she was just so down to earth and genuine. She photobombed your photo. She photobombed. Oh wow. She was so That's kind. So cool. I know. Like I've got the photo somewhere on my Instagram, I think. But like out of all the artists I could have supported that are that big as well for a first like big support, like that was incredible. Like she made my absolute night, like probably my year at this point. Oh, well, except for this, obviously. Oh, yeah, it could have gone one of both ways, couldn't it? I think we've chatted on the pod before about meeting your heroes, and sometimes they don't quite live up to your expectation. But that's so lovely that you actually met her and she was genuinely a lush person. And like everything you see on stage as well is exactly how she is off stage. Like she's just an absolutely wonderful person, and she just throws herself into everything, and she's just very supportive of music and artists. So yeah, I think Foundations was the first song that I know by Kate Nash. I think that was the one that really that was a hit, wasn't it? That was like a really big hit. That sort of broke her. When was that? That must have been about 2011. I've no idea. Maybe even I just remember I did it earlier. I'm not doing it again. But when she said about lemons and that. Oh my gosh, yeah. I remember seeing her on like panel shows and stuff like that, and she was hilarious on those. So it was She's so funny. Like her live, because we obviously stayed and watched the whole show as well as a band. Because obviously, like you wouldn't not. And she played Foundations twice, and she was just so interactive with the crowd, and she had so much banter. And she was like, "Right, I'm telling you my feelings now." Like she's just so cool. Like I think so many artists could like do that more in their music. Yeah, and, like, definitely get more interactive with the crowd. I think the thing is, it depends, doesn't it? I think if you're like, say for example, you're doing 100-night gig, it probably becomes quite monotonous and like, right, just get it done, get it out. I mean, probably not, but I reckon there is some part of that where it's like you're not really feeling it. You just need to get the gig done. Probably just hungover or something from the the night before. Not painting a picture. Of well, like, not all of them, but you know, some maybe. But no, what I mean is that if you're doing more of a like I don't know, like a little run, little more intimate venues, you probably do get more of that communication with the crowd. Yeah. Like I think for me as well, I'm not the biggest artist ever. I'm quite small still, so like I feel really lucky because like whenever I'm interacting with the crowd, you can tell that it's like kind of like a one-on-one kind of thing.
sing and they're really into it. And like, especially at the last couple of gigs, like people have been so kind and they've come up to me and actually had chats. And like, obviously if you're at Kate Nash's level, you don't get that. So it's quite nice to appreciate that at the smaller level.
That's so true.
Yeah.
I was going to say with that
so
will
true.
put you in good stead, because I don't doubt that you're going to go on to bigger things, right?
Thank you.
But having those moments and holding on to those will really make you will make you humble as well when you do get a bit bigger, maybe.
Yeah.
To realise also bringing other people up with you.
Oh yeah, literally, like anyone that's ever supported me as an artist as well. So like, obviously Izzy sat over there, like I'm really good friends with Izzy Grace.
Hi Izzy.
Hi. But like I always like try and support her as much as she supported me, and like I think it's a two-way thing as well. So if you're already supporting other artists and helping people, like you will both do really well because you're both going for the same thing. There's always going to be more room at the top for everyone. Like, I don't think it's like a competition kind of thing. It's whoever's got the talent will just go as far as they can, and it's not really about a competition in my eyes. I think it's a horrible way to look at it when people are like, oh, I'm in competition. It's like, no, you're supposed to be like collaborating, like you can jam with people.
Everyone's different as well. Like everyone's going to have a different song that comes from here. Like if you collaborate with someone, you're going to have two different ideas going into one song, which I think is great. So why is it? Yeah, I don't get that either.
But don't you see that with what we do? Like not with us, or
what,
like
competition?
Yeah, generally, like obviously.
Yeah, no, you definitely get some people that I think you kind of think it sort of comes across that they feel that they're in competition with other people. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, basically, like in the presenting world. Like,
in the presenting world, but I think the presenting world is different than the music world.
I suppose it is and it isn't in ways. I think that
because one great song will stand a mile over any other song, whereas a presenter, I don't know, like I guess one good presenter will stand a mile over another, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think for me, right, I've worked with presenters that I think will, well, obviously, like, company, you, generally, like we get on really well and we help each other and, hopefully develop as a presenting team, yeah? So that's like, we do that. Whereas I have had, not on the podcast, obviously, but I have worked with other presenters that have been like, whatever.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it's like,
I find it weird. It's just not a way to be in life, you know.
You
it
get
doesn't
that
really
in the
help.
music industry as well, though. Like, there's people that, like, especially if you're on a lineup with, like, so if you're not the headline act, for example, and you're a support, sometimes the headline act won't interact with you, and you'll be like, but why? It's like I
see Izzy nodding over there.
Yeah, Izzy knows. Yeah. Izzy and I know. But like, then you get like headline acts that are really supportive, and they're like, oh, how are you doing? Like, we'll stay for your set, and like, especially if like the headline act stays and watches you, like that's really good support. Like, I don't see enough headliners like doing that for the smaller artists.
But this is exactly what I mean. The fact that you're going through this where you are now.
Yeah.
When you are, and I don't doubt you are headlining stuff anyway, but when you are headlining maybe bigger venues and stuff like that, and you're there for the opener.
We already know that you'll stay.
No,
you've got it in you. Yeah.
You will just stay. Like,
I go for every single person on the lineup because like I've been the headline and the opener, so you know exactly how it's going to go for each person.
Yeah.
And like my band and I were lucky enough to play the Sunflower Lounge last week, and we were the headline. It was for their like 20th anniversary like of opening. It was so cool. And like me and myself and the band went and watched every single person, and I remember the second act came up to us and was like, thank you so much for like watching because you don't get to see it. And I was like, literally I feel the same way, but I'm in your position.
Who
so
are they?
It's the least they were called Internet Holiday.
Cool.
They used to be called The Real Cool, so yeah, I don't know if they're still doing both things, but yeah,
I've noticed there's quite a few bands that I think, well, I know that, oh Christ, hang on, High Fly and oh fucking hell, I'll remember in a minute. But basically, High Fly got a couple of other members in other bands.
Yeah.
And I think Anorak and Blue Feed, I think, do the same thing. So there's like a lot of different members that like sort of all merge between the different bands.
But the funny thing is though, like when you
the verdicts.
When you go to gigs in London, you'll see the same crowd. If you go to enough gigs, you'll see the same people, and they're all friends with like other people, different people, but they all know each other.
Yeah.
And it's weird when they start adding you on Instagram because you're like, oh, we've got like 8 mutual connections that you didn't realise. And then they're like, oh yeah, I used to play drums for that band or that band. It's such a big but small community.
Well, I find that with us. Like we've got loads of mutual connections, and I guess it's because we're doing very similar things, but like, lots of mutual connections. Right, what we're going to do, we're going to have a quick break.
Go for it.
And then when we come back, we're going to do your dream gig, and I've got a couple of other little things for you as well.
Awesome.
I've got 3 artists this time.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Right, we will see you in section 3. Hi everyone, welcome to the Unsigned podcast. As some of you may know, I'm an ambassador for MATES, which is Mental Health Awareness through Educational Speaking. They're a peer-to-peer support group. They're based in Essex, but they've got a group on Facebook, and there's a load of great ambassadors out there all offering out some support. If you want more information, go to their website, weareyourmates.com. But let's get back to the episode.
The Unsigned podcast.
Hi everyone, welcome back to the Unsigned podcast. We've got Eliza May and we've got Lizzie Romain.
Woo!
We're going to do your dream gig now.
Awesome.
So essentially what we do in here, we go through venues, who's going to be on your lineup, etc., and we're going to start with what would be your dream venue or festival to play at your dream gig.
I feel like it's a bit cliche, but like I really would love to play Glastonbury. Like it's the go-to, isn't it? Like if you're an unsigned artist, you're looking at my wristbands now, aren't you?
Yeah.
What wristbands are they? Why not?
The Glastonbury one this year was quite similar to that one.
No, this is the Why Not one for artists. Yeah, and then that was just
We won't
Neighbourhood
get that
Weekender. No, you might come in with me.
Done.
Yeah, can I come too?
No, go for it. No, to be honest, you get like a certain amount of people you can have as part of crew. So, like if you were
I'll be a roadie.
I've got an idea.
I'll be a roadie.
I'm ready.
Next time you have like something like that, we'll film it and we'll do a behind the scenes Unsigned with Eliza May.
Yeah, no, honestly, I'm
and then
down.
we can do like
There we
interviews
go.
afterwards and bits and
Yeah.
Yeah,
things.
literally, honestly, go for it.
Well, the plan
I'm
that
down.
we have, so we've got an event coming up in September the 29th in Chelmsford, right? So we're asking people to apply for that. We've got the Great Leslie headlining, and we're going to film the evening, and we're going to do interviews and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So that's what we're aiming to do anyway.
that
We'd
would
like
go
to
down
do a
really
bit
well.
of, video production and stuff.
Yeah,
so.
because when we were at Why Not, I was with Scruff of the Neck, the record label.
I
And
saw
I've heard of
your
those.
interview there, yeah.
Yeah, so they interviewed us and they like live streamed it on Twitch and everything, and so their setup was amazing,
Yeah.
especially because there was not much good Wi-Fi there at all. So
Oh,
I have
really?
no clue how they did it, but it was just
Tethering.
probably they were in like this little hut, like just typing away and like moving levels and stuff. I was like, this is too much for my brain. I'll just perform.
Do you know what? Like that's
cool.
I'd like to be at a point where we can be
Yeah,
there.
You'll
Do you know
get
what I mean?
there.
Like you see like this feeling of scruff of the neck and people like that,
Yeah.
and you think, fucking hell, they're doing it. But everyone starts somewhere, don't they?
exactly.
Everyone starts somewhere. Anyway, Glastonbury.
Yeah.
What stage? What time?
I want to be headlining just the biggest stage. Like
Yeah.
I've never been
Pyramid.
to Glastonbury, so like I know the Pyramid stage, so I'd want to be headlining the Pyramid stage. Yeah, that would
Fair
be
enough.
it.
You
Pyramid
can have
stage.
Sam Fender's slot that he had this year.
There you go.
That-
Twilight, was it? Not Twilight. Was it Twilight?
It was like an afternoon slot, but it was lovely because the sun was setting.
Oh,
that's
no,
not
I want
Twilight.
that.
It's
Is that
beautiful.
I want
Twilight?
that.
The twilight. What's the
What?
sun?
It's
The sunset,
Twilight.
isn't it? What?
Yeah, I know, but like dusk.
Twilight. What's Twilight then?
It's a crap
Evening.
Yeah.
film series.
About vampires.
Yeah,
Yeah.
werewolves. Right, so what we do on the dream gig, we say that you can have 3 acts,
Oh, okay.
right? So there's you.
Yeah.
You've already said you're going to headline.
I am.
And right, just listen. There's no pressure on this next bit, all right? You have to choose a main support and an
Yeah.
opener.
Okay.
There's no pressure.
Izzy's not here in the room right No, to be honest, I probably would have Izzy.
But you can choose
or-
anyone, right? So you
Yeah.
can choose anyone, dead or alive.
Oh, gosh,
we've had
okay.
people, they've chosen lots of different people. Arctic Monkeys is like, been
Yeah.
the main one probably. I think people are selected.
I think for me, though, like minus Izzy, I'm always going to have Izzy at any of my gigs. She's
Obviously.
always welcome, obviously. But if we take Izzy out of the equation, 'cause she's already a given.
Nice save.
Yeah, no, she's already a given. So I'm a big Paramore fan, so I probably have Paramore as like the main support because I
Right.
take a lot of inspiration.
Influation.
Influenza, apparently. God.
We make up words every single episode. It's usually you, actually.
Yeah,
I do
I
this a
know.
lot.
Tangenting was my one last week.
Wait, what was the meaning of that one?
Going on lots of tangents.
Oh, lovely.
Tangenting.
Yeah, no, I should pay for my words quite a lot, so I'm surprised it hasn't happened sooner. But
So Paramore.
yeah, I'd have Paramore, and then I don't know. I have no clue. I'm really obsessed with like Tori Kelly. I love her stuff, and she's kind of like an influence of mine for like the like soulful kind of side of my music.
Right.
So I'd probably have her like just before Paramore to like switch it up a little bit.
So she's opening,
Yeah,
then
she's
Paramore,
opening.
then
Yeah. If I'm allowed another slot, Izzy Grace. There you go.
you. Yeah, you can. Why not? Yeah.
Why not?
For this one occasion,
Yeah.
because we have to.
I've got no eyes on me.
What would be your what we started to do on the Unsigned podcast is play a couple of acoustic tracks at the
Yes.
end, right? So it doesn't have to be the same one, but what would be your cover track? So what was the example we used last time? It was Olivia Rodrigo done one, didn't she, with Lily Allen? Was it Smile? Was it that? Was it me and you talking about that?
No, I haven't been here for 2 weeks.
No, it was ages ago. Anyway, what would be your cover track that you would do headlining the Pyramid stage?
Oh, I'd have to get Hayley Williams on stage, and we do The Only Exception.
Well, that was going to be my next question. Who would you duet with?
There you go, Hayley Williams. No, I started listening to Paramore when I was like 13, and then like from there, their music was very much the style that I wanted to get into, and that kind of has like influenced me with a lot of my music. So you can kind of hear little like guitar parts here and there, and like vocal melodies here and there that are very inspired by that. So.
Right.
Yeah.
There you go, double whammy in one answer.
I know.
What would be on your rider? So you get to Glastonbury Festival, and it wouldn't be a green room there, would it? What would it be? It'd be like a trailer probably that you'd have there.
Probably still called a green room.
Yeah.
Okay, what would you have in your green room? You can have two choices. What would be on your rider?
Okay, so is this like two choices wandering on food, or is it just...
It can be anything.
Oh
so
my goodness.
some people have asked for like a man cave, like a games room sort of thing.
Oh my gosh.
So that was the loose letters. Some people have asked for like just beer or something. Yeah. So you can select whatever.
I'd probably get like, the Sex on the Beach cocktail cans you can get. I'd probably just have a couple of those, and then like a bit of apple juice as well. That's really weird, like a weird combo, but I absolutely love apple juice, and it's really good for the throat. So
there you go.
Apple juice for before, the cocktails for after.
Oh, fair enough.
Sensible.
Where are the Sex on the Beach cocktails from?
Oh, M&S.
Yeah.
Always
That's
M&S.
the right
They're the
answer.
high
Not
quality
Lidl.
ones. No. God,
They do really nice
to me.
They do really nice mojito ones as well, and the porn star martinis.
Oh
are
yes, 10
really
out of 10
good from M&S.
10 out of 10.
What is it with you and like last time when we had fur on?
I sound like an alcoholic. You know what? I don't usually drink. That's the funny thing.
We said last time when we had fur in,
Yeah.
right? We said about we're going to go to where was it? The Ivy and have cocktails or something. Was it that? Do you remember? You've forgotten, haven't you?
Oh yeah, no, no. It was a salted
yeah,
caramel
but where was it though?
martini. Yeah, at the Ivy.
At the Ivy.
Yeah. They're the best.
We
salted
have not
caramel
got that big a
martinis.
budget on this podcast.
Oh God, I'll leave them. I'm joking.
Well,
Sponsored by M&S.
There you go.
We aren't. If anyone wants to sponsor, you're more than welcome. Have you had one yet, or what would be your made it moment, or where have you got to so far in your career and you've gone, yeah, this is the right path for me?
So obviously Kate Nash was like the big point this year, but before that, before I even knew that Kate Nash was going on tour or anything like that, I absolutely was obsessed with So Far Sounds. And since uni, so I graduated uni 4 years ago now, and when I was in my final year, I was applying for So Far Sounds, like I'd love to do one of theirs. I never got anything back until this year.
Oh wow.
And I was like, oh my gosh, they finally like accepted like my music and they really want me there. And I got my band there, and it was the cutest thing ever, and everyone was listening, and it was, if you've ever been to a So Far Sounds gig, you just know like it's the best experience. Everyone's so attentive and they care about music, and it's just really nice. And as soon as I'd done that, I was like, that is a magical moment, like I'm on the right path, like it's amazing.
Oh cool.
Yeah.
Well,
really
where
good.
would be your after party at your it doesn't necessarily have to be in Glastonbury,
Yeah.
but where would you have your after party after headlining the Pyramid stage?
Oh, see, I'm such a boring person compared to like other artists. They're like, yeah, we're gonna go on the sesh. I'm like, I'd love a good pizza. I'd love.
What's your favourite pizza?
So have you heard of a place called Crazy Pedro's?
No, but I think he'd be fun.
Oh my gosh,
That does sound
incredible.
cool.
So they have them in like Birmingham, Manchester, and Liverpool, and they do 16-inch pizzas with the quirkiest toppings. And my favourite one is the chicken and waffles pizza. Oh, 10 out of 10. It's like chicken, sweet waffles.
Like breakfast waffles.
Yeah, like maple syrup and then like smoked bacon. 10 out of 10. Can I go wrong?
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I've never had anything like that.
No,
They do
that
like
sounds good.
They do like cheeseburger pizzas as well and everything. They've got so many quirky ones. Like
What's
if
it
you ever
called
get a
again?
chance-
Pedro's.
Crazy Pedro's.
Crazy
Crazy.
Pedro's.
Hey, oh, God, I
You
can't.
go into it and you're like, this is mental.
Right, next thing I've got for you is gig tour right. So you have to go on a worldwide year-long tour with one of
Okay.
these people. You get to do a one-night gig
Yeah.
with one of these people, or you get to write with them. Right,
my
and I had
goodness.
funnily enough, I had these written down. You can even check my notes here. The three there,
Oh, okay.
right,
Yeah.
and they are Kate Nash, Hayley Williams, and Lily Allen.
Okay.
Who would you gig with one night, tour for a year, and write with?
Okay. I'd love to write with Hayley Williams just because I'd find that so inspiring. Like, I'd want to know how her brain works
Yeah.
to make the songs she's made as well, especially from like such a young age to now. Like the difference between then and like how she's writing now, like that would be amazing. So that would be my writer.
Yep.
I'd probably go on tour with Kate Nash because she's incredible, so much fun. Her band are amazing as well, like
Yeah.
absolutely good vibes. And then what was the other one? The
Lily
one
Allen.
the one night gig then is
Yeah.
that? Yeah. So I'd, yeah.
Oh,
do the gig
sorry,
with
yeah, one
Lily
night.
Allen. Yeah.
It's like Snog, Marry, Avoid, but we couldn't do, you just started telling me off for the Avoid bit and didn't want to offend anyone, so we went for Right instead.
There we go, yeah. No, that's pretty good.
Yeah? Sweet.
Non-offensive.
No, non-offensive. We don't want to piss too many people off in one go, do we?
There you go.
I tell you, I on the way back on the plane, I watched. Is it Brian? Who's the head guy of the Beach Boys? Brian Wilson. Is Brian Wilson?
I'll say yes.
What's his surname? Does anyone know? No.
Not good
Google
with
it.
names.
Beach Boys.
Is he's like getting the phone out slowly?
Yeah.
Like, oh
I'm
God.
sure it's like Brian. Anyway,
Cox.
That documentary. If you can get up the documentary, which is by them. It is Wilson.
There you go, 10 points.
Does it say the documentary? I think it was released like this year or last year. It's really, really good. And basically, that's the one.
What was it called?
The Long Promised Road.
Oh, okay.
And it's really, really good. I watched it on the plane coming back from Hawaii. And it goes into how he was like amazing at writing songs. Yeah. And it's just incredible to see him in the studio because he's basically got like his whole band in front of him. He's got his headphones on and then they're playing whatever he's asked them to play. And he's like, stop. I want you to play it more in staccato. And then they like play it more in staccato. And he's just listening and he's just going, no, I want you to do this, It's just fantastic. Yeah. That's a really, really good documentary to watch. Just talking about someone to write music with. Because obviously the Beach Boys, they did fantastic songs. They did like Good Vibrations and all of them. It's just, Sorry.
Good recommendation.
Sorry, I know that was a really random tangent.
It is more on topic than you talking about my downstairs.
Not wrong.
It's really, really good. Any music lover, you should watch that because he looks like a fantastic person to write music with.
You were talking earlier about your biggest influences. Who would they be then?
So I love Frank Turner. I love Hayley Williams. I love Tori Kelly. They're like the main three. But I also like, for this EP, I've loved like Fickle Friends, Bad Sons, like little independent kind of artists that have kind of gotten to like a midway point. I feel like they're really inspiring because they're not quite like really big and they're not like big headed or anything, but the music they're making, incredible. Yeah. Absolutely incredible. Like you can learn so much from just listening to people's music. And it, like there's a band called Skinny Living. Right. I have a song called I Plead, and just from their like beginning instrumentation of finger picking, that inspired me to write I Plead. So
oh, wow.
Didn't plan on it, but it just happened.
Well, yeah.
I suppose if you're listening to music, it's just going to come, isn't it? It's just going to come out of that.
Yeah. It's mad what music can do. Absolutely mental.
So have you got another EP coming out this year then? If you've released 2 songs already, have you got another couple?
It should be coming out this year, but yeah, 3 more songs are on this EP. I'm not dropping them as singles, so you're going to have to wait until the actual EP comes out.
Okay.
Patience.
Patience is key.
Yeah.
To be honest, this EP has taken so long because we were ready to record before the pandemic and we were going to like record in a proper studio, and this probably would have been out like end of 2020 if we didn't have a pandemic. But because of the lockdowns, we had to record everything in our own houses, and then the band sent it all to me. And at the beginning of the lockdown, I had the slowest internet as well. It was terrible. Like I was like, could you do this for me? And it would take like 10 years to send, and then they'd be like, oh, we've done that thing, and it would be like a week later. But yeah, just taken so long. So to actually have the tracks coming out like this year was such a big thing. So we're in like the final mixing and mastering stages. So
nice.
Yeah, should be out at the end of this year. I'm hoping to do an EP launch. So
that's exciting. Will that be up in Birmingham? Will that be in the same place as your last one?
No,
it'll be different.
I think that that venue, I don't know if it's closed down or it's got different management now. So I don't know what it's like. I've not been there since my EP launch. So I'll probably check it out if it's still there. But there's a venue called The Rainbow and it's absolutely iconic. It closed down years ago and it's only just reopened. And I'd love to do my EP launch there.
Is it multicoloured?
No, it is. It's like a downstairs basement and the lights, they have like these massive strobe light things and they just change colours and it's amazing. Sets the mood.
That does sound cool. And what was the reason why you've decided not to release any more singles before the EP? You're going to do it?
It's because like if you release everything all at once, there's nothing for the listener to really like kind of listen to afterwards. So like if you drop single and then only leave like one single left, they only have one new song and the EP's not as interesting. So I did that with The Fall, and my track Fading Away was the last song, and it didn't really get seen as much really. Right. And now like obviously more people have heard it at live shows and stuff, they're like, oh, that song exists. But if you don't like push it as a single, it's really hard to get that attention. Lost. Or if you drop it in like an EP and there's more than one song, there's more of an interest. So you kind of have to do it one of two ways, I guess.
No, that's cool.
It's funny how people do that differently. They interpret it all. Like, 'cause there's a lot of people I've spoken to on here that have gone, well, we're not quite ready to do an EP, and we've got so many singles that we've just got ready to go. So we're just going to keep dropping.
Yeah.
And then there's like, when we had Charlie on, he was like, I'd love to do an EP at the moment, but I'm still trying to find exactly what would be on there and trying to find different genres that he wants to work on. So it's funny how different artists do it in completely different ways.
Yeah, it's mad as well, because like some of our live shows, we're playing stuff that isn't going to be on this EP, but it will be on like the next EP after that, because in the lockdown I just wrote loads of stuff.
People.
Yeah, no, literally I'm like, this is this song, and they're like, when's it coming out? I'm like, maybe next year, maybe the year after. And I'm like I wish that was the answer, but because I just want to get this EP out, then we'll record the next stuff, and hopefully I'll catch up with my live self, because the recorded stuff is like a year behind.
That's so cool though. It's like, come and watch me live. I'm going to be playing songs that aren't going to be released for 2 years. Do you
want to hear a new song? Come to the show. Like, you can't hear it any other way, because it's kind of like an exclusive every time, and it's quite nice to see people's reactions. Like, you can tell if a song's good by the reaction, then you're like, oh, I should put that on the EP or not. So
you need to play them all at Sofa Sounds.
Oh, I did start playing them.
They're the ones that you need to get, because they're going to tell you.
There you go. Next week I've got a gig.
Another Sofa Sounds.
Yeah, I'm not allowed to say where it is because it's secret
until the day. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'll be trying new stuff there. So yeah,
that's cool. And that's in Birmingham, right?
Yeah.
So you need to sign up for Sofa Sounds in Birmingham.
There's tickets online already. So
I'm being a bit thick. Can you explain what Sofa Sounds is to me, please?
Have you never?
Oh my god,
Matthew
Right,
Wherry.
there's going to be people that don't know about it watching.
That is true.
Right?
Okay.
So let's pretend I don't know about it, so that you can explain.
So Sofa Sounds, it's basically like secret venues. They go on all the way over across the UK, maybe beyond, I don't know. And they're usually quite small, intimate venues. And a lot of the people that sign up to go to them are people that are into music. They'll sit there and listen. It won't be like a bar setting where someone will be having a catch up with their best mate over a beer in the corner and, you know, throwing you off your vibe. Yeah. Everyone's literally sat there in their chair. It's usually quite intimate, usually quite small. You kind of feel like you're playing on top of the audience, but they're all there watching you. And it's just really cool, and it's got quite a big name for itself. It's got websites, probably like sofasounds.co.uk, something like that.
Yeah, but like big.
You don't know who you're going to see. So like when you sign up to it, you don't know who you're going to see. It's like a secret kind of vibe.
Exactly, which is why the artists aren't allowed to tell you where they're performing or when they're performing, because it's kind of like you can say, oh yeah, we're performing at Sofa Sounds. Guess when? Like it's going to add that mystery to it. Yeah. But like they have it all around the world now. So like Billie Eilish has done it, and like really big names have done it. So if you're doing it, like you're doing the right thing basically. Yeah, you've gotten their attention.
Can't believe you full named me.
It's just coming 2 minutes later.
I was thinking Ian in the middle then.
Oh, is that your middle name?
Yeah.
You know what?
My parents weren't very imaginative.
You know, we worked out that my name is Elizabeth Sarah May, and yeah.
And I'm Eliza
May. So there you go.
That's another thing you got in common, is it?
We've been besties for life. Where have you been?
Me and Izzy are going. Right,
bye, Matthew.
God. Right. What's the best fucking hell. For new artists, what would be the best advice you can give them from everything you've learned from the start to now?
Yeah.
If someone's just starting out, what would be your advice to them?
Oh, I have so much advice. Like, I could write a book at this point. No, I think like just try and get yourself out there as much as possible. So like take as many opportunities as possible. Don't burn yourself out, obviously, but like if there's a gig going and there's like a support slot, or like you have a friend that's playing and then you need a support slot, like take the support slot, like and go to other people's gigs as well, because you'll learn a lot and you'll network and you'll make friends. And like open mics are absolutely amazing as well. Like there's less of them in Birmingham, like compared to before the pandemic, but like I'm sure there's loads in London. There's loads going on around the UK.
If anyone's interested in something similar to that, what's the official name for it at Archway? What's the official for what you do on a Monday?
Showcase, the Archway Tavern's Acoustic Showcase.
The Archway Tavern's Acoustic Showcase. God, it was a mouthful, wasn't it? Mondays, yeah. So if they want to get involved, what are you pointing at?
I was talking about this before. Literally.
Oh, right.
We were talking about this before.
Well, basically, every Monday night, the Archway Tavern that is linked to Islington Radio, the podcast studios, and Crouch End Studios, they have an acoustic night. Last night, you had Amber T was there. Amber T have played on the show. And Ella Clayton, you mentioned. Was she there yesterday?
No, we had her like a month ago. Maybe.
About a month ago. Ella Clayton was at the Archway Tavern about a month ago. Anyway, if you want to feature at that, get in touch with Islington Radio. And is it Leah that sorts that out? Gracie. Gracie in your ears. Go and find her on Instagram. I'm sure that's her title on there.
Gracing your ears.
Oh, Gracing Your Ears.
There you go.
I was nearly right.
You're just not going to
Gracie
names,
in your
are you?
ears.
Don't start all that.
I'm sorry.
Fucking hell.
This iPad's not saving you today, is it?
No.
Do you know what, right? I said to you earlier, last week, right? So we had Louise Parker, who I know a bit, right? And Rob, who's been on the podcast loads of times, right? And I thought, right, I've been really busy with my day job and I didn't have a lot of time to prep. And I thought, I would be all right. So this week, I was like, we were fine. Everything was fine.
Yeah.
But I sort of feel like, no, I'll prep more. I need to prep today. So I spent a bit of time over the last couple of days, just kept putting a few points in there and there. And you two just ripped me to shit all the way through it. So somewhere
See, that's what happens.
in a happy medium somewhere, I need to prep a bit, but not worry about it too much. I have got something for you though. We're going to do some quick fire questions,
Go
and I
for
wish
it.
I had something music for it, but I didn't have time to find any. So quick fire. Remember,
Ready.
favorite gig you've played?
Brighton Pride 2018.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fun.
Louise done Brighton Pride the other week.
No way.
Yeah, Louise Parker did that. What's your guilty pleasure track?
Oh, I have no clue. Probably something from High School Musical too. Let's be real. Like that's an iconic soundtrack. Iconic.
Yeah.
It's good.
What's your guilty one? You got guilty pleasure track?
No, because I don't feel guilty about any music that I like.
Fine.
Me neither. I feel like I can name the track. Now it's Bet on It. That's the best one. Bet on it. There you go.
Favorite holiday destination?
Brighton. I'm obsessed. Brighton.
What's the first single you ever bought?
I think it was by Avril Lavigne. But it was like, it wasn't a single, it was a CD.
Right.
Like, I can't remember the first single. Yeah, no, I think it was like the album that has Complicated on.
I was going to say I had that one.
Yeah.
What was it called? It had her on the front.
Yeah,
Well,
she's like
Skater
stood there in
Boy,
like
was
a
it?
coat, like
Yeah.
brown hair.
But she replicated that photo. She
Did
took the
she?
same photo. You're nodding. Did you see it? She took the same photo like, 10, 20 years later or something.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wasn't there a conspiracy
quite cool.
theory about that someone had like replaced her?
With like a robot or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Where
But-
have you been?
Yeah, it was like about 10 years ago. It was like,
Oh.
Avril Lavigne isn't her anymore. They've replaced her.
Yeah.
And then she almost then was like, oh no, I am here. And she looks like the same as what she did like 20 years ago. But
Yeah, it's like she doesn't age. That's what it's that's why people are confused. She just looks like she
She's
doesn't
got good
age.
genes.
Yeah, and people think she's a robot because of it.
have you got
So
any
weird.
pre-show rituals?
Well, it's not really a ritual, but like me and the band normally like sit there beforehand, and in sound check we're like, oh no, Sophie, because my guitarist Sophie, she comes up from Cornwall, so she never really gets a proper rehearsal. So we normally just sit there and try and rehearse with Sophie, and then we normally go for a band meal or something. And we've gone to many places like McDonald's, or we've been to like a proper meal. Like we love like pizza places and stuff. So yeah.
Did she? Did you meet her at uni then?
Yeah, I did.
okay.
Yeah, she's incredible though. I can't let her go.
No.
Like absolutely insane guitarist. Her handle is like Sophie_Snelling. Like check her out. She's
Shout out.
amazing.
That's
Best gig
fun.
you've ever been to? Not necessarily played, but best gig you've been to.
That's the first one that comes to mind is the Kooks. I saw them when I was in.
I just I played their album literally a few days ago because Charlotte was doing like a story on my wife was doing my wife.
That's a
Borat
flex.
come to mind then. She was doing an Instagram reel because we went to the seaside and
Yeah.
she used the Kooks as it. So I was
Oh.
listening to their album the other day.
Yeah, no, I saw them whilst I was in college, so it must have been like 2012, 2013. But it was the first time I'd seen them live, and their lighting is absolutely incredible. They did this thing with like loads of TVs and stuff, and
Oh.
it was just interactive as anything. Like, just amazing gig, 10 out of 10. And the lead singer is just so interactive with the crowd.
Is he?
Yeah, he really cares about the audience. So at the gig I was at, he was like, oh, like we're gonna play like She Moves in Her Own Way, and the crowds were starting to do a mosh pit for some reason. It's an acoustic song, like there's no need for
Yeah.
it. And he just stopped the song and was like, no, sorry, this is not what's happening, like we're gonna listen to this. Like he was like
Wow.
genuinely caring about the safety of the audience. So yeah, cool
That's
gig.
really cool.
Yeah.
What's the latest single you've listened to? Like, what wasn't one you listened to last on your playlist?
Oh, I have no clue. Izzy's got my phone.
Go on,
I'll
Izzy, you
pass
find it.
I know. Give me the thumb. Give me the thumb. Let's have a look.
This is when it's one of your tracks.
Oh, no, it's
The last-
definitely not.
The last
Ooh.
podcast I listened to was this.
There you go.
Apparently, I listened to a song called "The Distance" by the band Hardcastle. They're a really cool band. They're like really small. I think they're from America.
Oh, there you go.
That's cool.
Yeah, indie rock band. Very cool.
An artist you'd love to see in concert, but you haven't yet.
Tori Kelly. Oh my god, her vocal runs.
I thought you meant literally.
Yeah, no, I love
That's
watching
how-
her run.
That's how far away I am from understanding the terms.
No, she's got an incredible voice.
Oh,
like,
okay, cool.
There we go.
What's the worst thing that's happened on stage?
Oh, I know exactly what it is already. So me and my guitarist Sophie, because we went to uni together, we were being graded on our final performance, and it was like a 40-minute long set of all originals that we'd had to write and prepare.
Wow.
We got to the fall, and I put it on capo 4, which is like the fourth like fret on the guitar. On that day, I put it on capo 5, and the band did not play it on capo 5. So, like, it just sounded terrible. It sounded so much like a Clash.
Right.
And then halfway through the performance, like, the band caught up. But that was the one performance we were being marked only on performance, not the writing. So, like,
thank goodness for that.
No.
No,
We got no
opposite.
marks. We got
on
no
performance.
marks.
That was on performance.
Not writing.
Yeah, if it was
no.
writing, I would have been saved. But no, I was like 1 mark off a first because of that. So lesson learned though, write down your frets on your set list, which is what I do now. Yeah, you should know.
Could you recommend an artist? Obviously, Izzy Grace.
Of
but could you
course.
recommend another artist?
Yeah, no. So one of my best friends, and she's also my backing singer at the moment. I feel so honoured because she does her own music and she's incredible. She's called Amelia Wallace, and she like is based in Liverpool. She's absolutely the best, one of the best vocalists I've ever heard in my entire life. And we actually met like when she was 13, I was 15. We did musical theatre together.
Oh, cool.
So like we've kind of grown up with each other and seen each other's journeys, and she's just keeps getting better and better. So I'd recommend like type in like Amelia Wallace Wave on YouTube. The most stunning video and vocals. 10 out of 10.
Can I give you a recommendation?
Yes.
You should check out Test Card Girl. It came to mind because she's from Liverpool as well.
Yeah.
But she's incredible. She's also quite alternative indie. But just check out what her song is. I think it's called Don't Go.
I'm gonna have to write this down, otherwise I will forget.
Yeah. Listen to that and tell me what you think.
I will.
But she's very good. I think
You'll get a DM later.
Yeah. Please do. Yeah. Just
I
tell
have
me what you
no
think.
doubt you two are slipping into each other's DMs. Jesus Christ. Right, could you tell everyone where they can find you on the socials, Spotify, etc.?
Yeah, so you can find me normally at Eliza May Official on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, at Eliza May Music on Twitter, because they won't let me have Eliza May Official as the handle. It's apparently too long. And then on TikTok, I'm at Eliza May Official _, and I do like 3-part harmony videos. So yeah, and then my Spotify is just Eliza May, like The Fall, or like Eliza May Edge of This. Just type in my name in a song. Otherwise, a Russian DJ comes up. So we don't want to be listening to Russian music when you're looking for me.
You play, is it a banjo? The little tiny
Ukulele.
guitar?
Ukulele. I wish I could play a banjo.
It's probably very, very different, but they're both tiny
They're so
little
small, yeah.
tingy instruments.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool. I do really like your covers of those.
Thank you. I did like a Taylor Swift cover
Yes.
on it, and I was like, this is so cool. I need to bring out the ukulele more.
It's really, really good. I think the
Thank
Taylor Swift
you.
one was the one that popped up, but there's maybe a couple on there
Yeah,
that
I
you've
think I
got.
did a cover, like a Paramore cover. I think I did Still Into You on a little ukulele. And then like now in our live performances, we've started throwing that in as a full band. Like,
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Really?
it's a lot of fun.
That's quite a big wedding song. When people have had, it's a big wedding song.
Yeah.
When I've done, I used to do a lot of editing and stuff, and they'd have that as like part of it.
Yeah, we don't play it in a weddingy way.
No, I didn't think you would. Lizzie Romain, where can everyone find you?
www.lizzieromain.co.uk.
Simple.
Simple.
One link.
Done.
I mean, it's got everything on there. I mean, if you want to get specific, then it's Lizzie Romain on Instagram, Lizzie_Romain on Twitter. Yeah.
All of that.
Yeah.
It'll be in the description below, as it always is. You can find me at Matt_Wherry on most things, and unsignedmusic.uk on Twitter. As you mentioned Twitter, we're unsigned with UK on Twitter because they wouldn't let us have what we want. But you can find us on there. Also, if you want to submit music, unsignedmusic.uk for that. If you want to be at our events, it's unsignedmusic.uk/events.
I've gone to sleep for a second there. I was like, he's doing his spiel. He'll
I'm
be
doing
talking
it.
about this for 5 minutes. So
No, it
I'm
won't be
just going
5
to switch off and have a break.
Won't be 5 minutes. Obviously, you know we're a part of Isn't Some Radio, Future Hits, Radio Extra and all that. If you want to upload music to Future Hits, you can go to futurehits.co.uk. Last thing I will mention is our event on the 29th of September. If you want to be a part of that as a supporting artist for the great Leslie, you can go to unsignedmusic.uk/events, or you can register at futurehits.co.uk/register. That's my spiel done now. Is that all right?
That was definitely at least 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it probably was. But, you know, like take our time with these things, don't we? Eliza, thank you very much for coming in.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure having you here. Izzy, thank you for supporting. We are now going to have a couple of acoustic tracks from Eliza. So go to the YouTube channel, go and subscribe on there, go and find them. We've also got acoustic tracks on there from Louise Parker from last week and the Ariston as well. More to come. But until next time, thank you very much. We will see you then. Manish, thank you very much.
Yay.
Good to have you back. And yourself, Lizzie. And we'll see you all next time. Cheers.
Bye.
See ya.
The Unsigned Podcast.